Hey, students and families, welcome to our devotional series called Worship Over Worries. We hope this is an encouragement to you, so enjoy.
Life is filled with worries, with things to be concerned about and anxious over. And sometimes it feels like our minds become little factories of worry, just inventing new things to fear and to wrestle with. And so a lot of times what we have to understand is that the worries we have and the fears we have are a result of what we're focused on rather than the situation itself. So I want to share with you a psalm from Psalm 27 that David writes, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" Fear and worry, they are darkness. They don't exist in the presence of light. For them to exist, there has to be the absence of light. And so what David notes is, man, when he's focused on God, when he's in the presence of God and turning to God, fear doesn't even make sense to him. Even when for most of his life, David was in very dangerous situations. And yet he goes, what am I going to fear? Because the Lord is my light and my salvation. And so when we focus on the light that is God and we hold on to Him, we realize how ridiculous the fears of this world seem to be, because you can't have fear and Jesus at the same time. And he goes on to say, "The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" A stronghold is a place of safety. It's a place of security, of strength, of refuge. It is a place of confidence where you knew you could go and be safe from enemies. And so when we have a stronghold, a place that can keep us safe, even amidst struggles and trials, we don't have to be afraid because we're in a place that is safe. And a stronghold is only in danger if the outside forces are greater than the strength of the stronghold itself. But if the stronghold is God, what do we have to fear? What could possibly overcome God? And so the beauty of what David's saying here is God is my stronghold. When I'm in His presence, I am in a safe, secure place. And if God has me, if I'm in His safety, what can take me from that? What has the power to overwhelm God? What has the power to take me from Him? And the answer is nothing. Both of these, who shall I fear? They're rhetorical. The answer is no one. There's nothing to be afraid of, nothing to worry about, because God is in control. And if God is His place of safety, if God is His place of rest, there's nothing that can take that away. And then he moves on. Say, when evildoers assail me, they eat up my flesh, my adversaries and foes. It is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Through war arise against me, yet I will be confident. One thing I have asked the Lord, and that I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in His temple. For He will hide me in His shelter in the day of trouble, and He will conceal me under the cover of His tent. He will lift me up upon a high rock. So even in times of war and struggle, we're dealing with situations now, and we all have these times in our life where it seems like there are armies stacked up against us, like there are just concerns and fears everywhere, and we don't know how to get through it because we don't see the end of the tunnel. We don't see hope. But when we turn to Jesus and we trust in Him, David's saying, like, even in war, I have nothing to fear because God has me. And that doesn't mean that it's always going to work out in our favor. That doesn't mean that things are always going to be exactly what we would want them to be. What it means is that if God has us, we're good. And so what happens in life is that fear is the result of focusing on our opposition. It's the result of focusing on our enemies, on the things against us, on the things happening around us. Faith, confidence, security, they're the result of focusing on the one who holds us in His hands. And so in any situation, it's not about what's happening in the world around us. It's not about the things that are stacked up against you in life. It's about where you focus. And if your focus is set on God, if your heart is set on Him, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to doubt. There's nothing to worry about, because nothing can overwhelm God. And if He holds you in His hands, He has you for eternity, and nothing can change that. And so we can have joy and confidence and security even in times of worry and struggle, in a way that gives us an opportunity to minister to the people around us. And so the biggest thing that Christians ought to do in situations like this, where there are lots of things to be concerned about, is to hold on to Jesus and to let our joy shine, because this is a time in which the world doesn't understand it, because they don't have it. Because the happiness that the world feels is based on their circumstances, but the happiness that we have is based on who Jesus is. And that is eternal, and it never goes away. It is unchanged by circumstances. And so we have, our God is a stronghold who keeps us safe, even when we are surrounded by dangers. And that gives us confidence and joy and security.